so grossed out. I was like freaking out then.
A day at the beach goes from fun to terrifying. What one teen says happened moments before he was bitten by a shark twice.
Also, scary share, the fake post spreading on social media that authorities are warning could be more than just a hoax. We'll explain.
Also breaking news, an Amber Alert for a missing New Mexico teen now canceled. What we know this morning coming up. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Adam Atchison.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Krista Gutierrez. Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday, April 25th. We'll get to that breaking news in just a bit, but first we are checking on weather with Kristen Curry.
Yeah, coming off a windy weekend. What are we facing this morning, Kristen?
More wind. Believe it or not, those winds are actually going to get a lot stronger as we get into today. Temperatures this morning, though, really not bad. 29 in Durango, which is the cold spot, but everybody else in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. We actually have even 60s hanging on out across TRC, Las Cruces, and Carlsbad. So a light jacket if you need it. Notice the hourly forecast, though. We are warming up nicely today. Mid to upper 60s even by lunchtime before we jump into the upper 70s by the later part of today. Sunshine on top, but of course those gusty winds and the high pollen count. It is going to be a rough day with cottonwood, ash, and pine all up to medium, mulberry even up to high for today. I expect the pollen count to stay high as the winds continue to crank both today and tomorrow. That will also elevate the fire danger. We're talking red flag warnings for a good chunk of the state today, but perhaps a little bit of relief with some spot showers for some. Details in your full forecast here in about 15 minutes.
Thanks so much, Kristen. We start with breaking news just into our newsroom. State police have canceled the Amber Alert for a 16-year-old New Mexico girl.
Yeah, authorities first issued that alert late last night after she went missing under what they described as suspicious circumstances. News 13's Sarah Yingling has the latest details. Sarah?
Adam, we just heard from state police about an hour ago that the search for Victoria Tickle is over. They say she is okay after being found nearly 2 hours away from where she went missing in Santa Rosa. There aren't many details about what led to authorities finding her, but state police say Victoria Tickle was first declared missing after being seen about 6 miles outside of Portales around 4 on Sunday. At the time, state police say an unknown vehicle, possibly an SUV, was also seen where Victoria was near South Roosevelt Road U and South Roosevelt Road 9. State police issued an Amber Alert late last night and a notification that many people across the state got on their cell phones. Now, authorities have not said why they're calling this case suspicious, but we do know that the Roosevelt County Sheriff's Department is investigating. Back to you.
All right, Sarah, thank you. As soon as we do learn more details on how Tickle was found, we're going to pass them along on air here on KRQE this morning and on the KRQE News app.
On to other news happening now. APD says a recent social media post about deadly shootings in Albuquerque is a hoax. Today, they're concerned that post might contain a virus, so they're asking you not to share it. The headline reads 14 dead, 40 injured in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It claims that there were 4 different shootings around the city in just 2 hours, but APD says it's all fake. Albuquerque police say that there were no shootings in the city yesterday, which is when the article started circulating, but that didn't stop people from calling 911, dispatch to ask about the shootings. Now some are asking, why would anyone write something like that in the first place?
It's messed up. I think it's messed up that people are going around trying to scare people like that.
Again, APD is asking that you not share the post because it could contain a virus. That's something they will continue to investigate today, and also who wrote it and sent it.
504, an Albuquerque driver is facing charges this morning after what police say he was caught with behind the wheel. Police say Andre Sanchez pulled up to a DWI checkpoint near San Mateo and Candelaria on Friday night. When an officer walked up to the window, he says he spotted a large bong on the floor next to Sanchez's leg and smelled weed. Sanchez was arrested for drug possession. Officers also say they found a sawed-off shotgun in his trunk, which could mean more charges. He is out on bond this morning. Also developing now, authorities in southern Ohio are still searching for suspects following the murders of 8 family members last week. This as an autopsy on the final victim is scheduled to happen today. The state's attorney general called the slayings a sophisticated pre-planned execution. Drug and gang activity are being considered as possible motives, but authorities are also warning the remaining members of the family to arm themselves this morning, and they're offering protection too.
A Florida surfer's worst fear came true while catching a wave. He caught the attention of a shark. Take a look.
Bit me, and I couldn't tell whether I stepped on a shell or something. But then after it bit me the first time, it bit me another time, and the second time it bit me, it really hurt, and I thought it bit my whole foot off.
Well, luckily, the shark only bit down on his heel. The 15-year-old says after the incident, he tried walking back to the shore, but he couldn't, so a stranger pulled him to safety. The teen had to get stitches and will not be able to surf at least for a few months, but says he's just grateful that it wasn't worse. If you're heading out to work or school this morning, you'll notice some big tributes to the pop icon Prince. You might notice around Albuquerque some electronic billboards are honoring the music legend. Clear Channel Outdoor, which sells space on those billboards, tells us it put those up here and around the country, something they try and do anytime a major celebrity death occurs. It's another gesture we're seeing around the world, remembering the icon. Prince's hometown honored the mega superstar's purple reign in the music industry by playing a few of his hits from the bell tower-like Kiss in 1999. Outside his Paisley Park estate, thousands of fans flocked to pay their final respects to Prince with purple balloons, flowers, even a massive guitar there. The Minnesota Wild in Minnesota also honored the state's favorite son, putting his famous symbol in the stands, pausing for a moment of silence with his picture on the Jumbotron before their hockey game. Fans from all over the country still can't believe he's gone.
I really believe in my life I would never meet and love another artist like I have loved Prince.
No word yet on how long the tributes in Albuquerque will stay out.
You may soon be able to turn your smartphone gaming habit into something that will help others. Be the Swarm offers free mobile games like Zombies or 2048. Any in-app purchases or advertising dollars raised as a result help people playing those games goes to a variety of charitable causes.
We've done everything from the animal shelters, we've helped the homeless, we've helped school supplies for children, we've helped women's services.
Right now, the local company Be the Swarm is running an online campaign on Kickstarter trying to raise $25,000. It plans on using that money to develop a social network so its users can choose where the dollars raised from people playing those games will go. And you can find more information on the KRQE News app this morning.
Oh, this is something my husband would love.
I know, and all those teens out there where their parents are saying, get off your game, they're saying, hey, I'm helping people.
Yeah, it's all for a great cause,
right? Exactly.
Foaming at the mouth, couldn't breathe, couldn't move. She was just laying there.
On the rise, a warning to parents about popular laundry packets after new study reveals more kids are ending up in the ER. What you need to know, plus what changes are coming to try and keep them safe.
Plus, a mother's plea, why she's turning to social media for support for her daughter on her birthday, and how you can help too.
Also, from taking to giving, the unexpected response a shop owner got after vandals hit his store, how the suspects were held accountable. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Crystal Gutierrez.
And I'm Adam Atchison. We're going to get to today's top stories here in just a moment, but it's a Monday. That means we need to check your forecast for the week.
We sure do. You probably felt it this weekend. The wicked wind's still here, and we're talking fire danger. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning. That's exactly right, guys. That's going to be the main focus as we get into this afternoon. Temperatures, though, really not an issue for us. We're still sitting in the low 50s here in Albuquerque with those west-southwest winds, only about 5 miles per hour. That's nothing compared to what I expect those winds to be later on today. Doppler radar showing a little bit of cloud cover out across the far northwest, and I do expect more of those clouds to fill in by the later part of today. But the metro sunshine is what we're looking at, with temperatures topping out in those mid to upper 70s today. It is going to be another day above average. We actually topped out in the 80s Friday, Saturday, so a little bit cooler, but we'll take it. Warm and windy from state line to state line today. We are talking critical fire danger in some parts of the state, but a little bit of relief for some with some spot showers and even the possibility of snow for the far northern mountains here. It's not going to be a lot, but we'll take what we can get at this point. And I'll break down the details of not only today's winds, but also those rain chances in your full forecast here in about 15 minutes.
5:32 new this morning, holding your kids accountable. We've told you about cases where teens who've committed crimes were locked up, charged, and the destruction that they caused still unresolved. But this story is quite different. Yeah,
this morning a metro area music store owner is resting easier. After vandals hit his store, he thought he would never find the culprits. That was until the suspect's parents showed up. News 13's Catherine Mazzone has their story.
They just showed up here and kind of took me off guard.
Jimmy Smith couldn't have guessed what a simple Craigslist ad would do.
I was like, whoa, this is the guy?
The guy this aspiring rock star turned music teacher says claimed responsibility for this.
This wasn't just an attack on your property like tearing down your mailbox. This is our livelihood they were tearing down here.
Smith and his wife operate an all-ages pop music school out of their Corrales home.
They don't just learn to play their instrument. They've got to come in here, play with other people.
These music-loving learners rely on Smith's brightly lit sign to find his studio.
Can't tell you how many people get lost on this road looking for us.
It's why Smith put out a Craigslist ad, offering a reward. With police finding few leads, Smith hoped an incentive might help uncover clues to crack this vandalism case.
They never get solved. The kids are never caught.
Or so he thought. That is, until they showed up on his doorstep.
They drug them down here. They were young, and I think they got scared, and one of them came forward and ratted out the other.
Truth is, Smith doesn't really know how the boys' parents caught wind of their son's wrongdoing. But he's certain they're to thank for bringing the boys to his door.
They were, as most parents would be, very angry and embarrassed for the whole situation.
Not only did the pair pay Smith restitution, compensating him for a new sign, they also offered him their time.
To come here and work, which I thought was even better, because then they have to come out here and see the damage they've done all day long.
A yard full of weeds and a couple dozen tumbleweeds later, and Smith says he could tell the two boys were good kids who just made some bad decisions.
They're not gangster types. There was no malice directed towards me personally. It's just for fun, you know. They're walking down the street, hey, what do you want to do? Hey, let's tear that up.
Smith says neither family wanted to talk for our story, but he says their actions speak volumes.
They loved their son quite a bit to do what they did.
Catherine Mazzone, KRQE News 13.
You don't see that too often these days. The teens could still face charges for the damage. We did contact Corrales police to learn the status of the investigation, but did not hear back by news time.
An APD cruiser is totaled this morning after a crash between an officer and another driver. Both were taken to the hospital. It happened near San Mateo and Pan American. A police spokesperson says the officer was approaching another accident when things went wrong. At first, the department said he was driving with lights and sirens on, but now claims he was cut off by another driver and had to swerve into the oncoming lane to avoid them. The officer and other driver are both expected to be okay.
This morning, two Santa Fe teens are facing assault charges after police say they robbed a woman at gunpoint. Santa Fe police say they arrested a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old for aggravated assault. They say a woman waved down an officer near Cerrillos Road in Camino Consuelo, then told them the two assaulted her with a handgun. It's still unclear why. Officers say they did find the two nearby with a firearm. Investigators suspect the teens also stole from another woman her purse at gunpoint as she was walking home.
Time now 5:36. Governor Susana Martinez is promoting New Mexico this morning as part of a week-long trip to the East Coast.
Yeah, the governor's office says Martinez is traveling with the New Mexico Amigos to New York City and to Charleston, South Carolina. The New Mexico Amigos group is made up of business, community, and state leaders who travel to promote economic development and tourism. We've been told taxpayers are not footing this bill. The nonprofit group will pay for the governor's expenses. She is scheduled to return this Friday. This morning, Ted Cruz and John Kasich say they are teaming up to beat GOP frontrunner Donald Trump in 3 upcoming primaries. And this means New Mexico could have a role in their primary. Donald Trump is poised to rack up even more delegates during primaries soon. But the new strategy from his opponents encourages Cruz supporters in Oregon and in New Mexico to back Kasich. Well, Kasich is asking his supporters in Indiana to help Cruz out. On the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders continues his push as frontrunner Hillary Clinton eyes her own victories in 4 of the 5 states that are coming into play soon.
Let's now turn to a live look in our nation's capital, where President Obama just formally announced this morning that more troops are heading to Syria. An additional 250 special ops troops will advise Syrian forces. They will not be involved in any direct fighting, according to officials. The hope is that Syrian forces will take more territory from ISIS near Raqqa with advice from U.S. troops. The U.S. already has 50 special operations forces doing similar work in that country.
Okay, parents, listen up. New this morning, doctors are once again warning about those popular detergent packets. And this is why a new study shows an increase in the number of kids getting hurt after biting into the colorful packets. The study says there were more than 62,000 detergent-related calls to poison control centers. That was in 2013 and 2014. There was a 17% rise in calls specifically about laundry packets. Some resulted in comas for children and other illnesses. Now some companies are introducing new, stronger pods. They also contain a bitter tasting substance on the outer film to stop kids from actually biting into them. The new packages hit store shelves next month.
John Bones Jones is already looking ahead to his next fight following a win over the weekend. Jones took on Ovince St. Preux in UFC 197, ultimately taking home the interim light heavyweight title. And while he won, many fans say it wasn't the performance they expected to see. Jones had not been in the ring for more than a year after multiple run-ins with the law, including pleading guilty in a hit and run that hurt a pregnant woman in Albuquerque. Still, Jones says he's looking ahead professionally. He could take on Daniel Cormier in UFC 200.
And that's who he wants to take on.
There you go. We'll see how that shakes out. 5:30.